So, as you can see, the side, the quarter panel's out, and unfortunately when they cut the piece out of the side, the quarter panel, they cut it out of the arch as well, so we're now going to have to replace that arch first, that part of the arch, and we have a piece fortunately which will fit, and he's cleaned up all the arch inside so you can see it's all nice metal now. Built a new piece there which it needed. Luckily it's good on the other side, and obviously you can see the same here. So we'll repair this arch. This is going to be a new valance, a new closing panel and a new quarter panel. So we can take this one out at the same time. We'll probably pre-cut it, but we can do it better when it's upside down. And as you can see, there's the brand new subframe, which is off obviously now. So yeah, it's coming on. But the companion bins look good inside. That's just a pile of dirt in the bottom there, and that's been repaired as well. That section that was in red before, you can hardly see the repair, but that's it there. The new patch been put in there completely. Yeah, and you can actually see how the system works on there. It's just the two rear arches, the turret tops for the shock absorbers, and then that steel bar going right the way through the centre. But all of it's in now. We haven't done the welding on the front because we want the toe board in first in case we have some difficulties getting it in, and then the inner wings, the toe board and everything, and the floor will be all joined up together. But everything's welded along the side, and the fit was perfect. Right to the very edge, it was millimetre perfect, which is a good sign. It means we've got it in the right place. So as I say, I've got these ordered up now. So these are repair panels. So what will be replaced is this boot floor, which is about sort of 10 inches in. So it's about a quarter of that wheel well, which is this piece. The extension pieces that go under the subframe, which are slightly thicker than an extra 1 mil, and a new balance of course, but we won't take this off until we've got this quarter panel in place. And you can see there where it's marked at the moment, and yeah, this will all be cleaned up and a complete new panel put in there. So it's coming on. There's the panel there that you took off. So there's a new rear quarter panel to go on, complete. We can join it where it is, or we can even cut it down depending on which way we do it, but that should look really nice when it's in. It's just a shame they had to cut it up in the first place when there was nothing wrong with it. And they used it on a later car as well. I mean, they took it from a 70 to a 73 or 74 or whatever it was. Crazy. Anyway, yeah, and there's that piece that was cut out on that seat floor. You can see it was quite badly rusted. That was that piece just in here, and you can't even see the repair now. So yeah, it's looking good. That white is sealant, which we use, and we go around all the, and you can see, hopefully you can see, if I maybe come in a bit, you can maybe see the welds. So there's welding, then a space, welding space, welding space, and you can see how neat that is. It looks really nice, and it's the same on the other side. I won't show you, but it's pretty much the same. So yeah, if you're methodical, just do a little bit at a time. Try not to take too much out, especially if you're putting it on a jig. You know, if you're doing it on the floor, try and take a little bit at a time, and just make sure that it's propped up correctly, because without sills on them and so on and so forth, you know, you're going to have a problem. I'll show you one other thing that's on this particular vehicle. So you can see there's the jacking points on the out sill, which are not particularly nice. We're going to clean them up, make them look a bit nicer. But you can see there's a flange there. Now this flange is exactly the same flange as that box section there, as that cross member. So now to weld that, how do you get around it? Because obviously you can't put the sill on and weld it. So the way we'll do it is if I can show on this one. No, I'll show this one as well. You can see where those flanges are, and they're exactly the same. They'll meet up. So what we'll do is drill 4 holes right the way through, and 2 down each side, or 3 down each side. And then what we'll do is when we put the sill on, the outer sill, we'll weld directly through, but we'll make these holes quite big, so we can make sure that we actually catch the flange on the other side and weld it right the way through. And that's how we'll do it. And because otherwise what you have to do, normally what you would do is take this jacking point and put it on the car, get it in the right place, and then weld them here afterwards from the outside. But because this has been quite heavily welded on, as you can see there, we'll do it from the inside, and it won't be seen. Because what we'll do in the end anyway is we'll use the undersill, or the undercoat, which will go completely on the bottom. The car will be whatever the colour is. We'll do it in a grey possibly, and we'll also do the floor internally as well, which will help it. It will save it from rusting, and it'll give it much longer life. And then we can crack on with this. So this is the area now where we need to concentrate on just filling in these welds. So we'll do a couple a day, let it cool down, and you can see there, of course, with that metal underneath it, that should be a doozy now to get it, and it's lovely and straight, so we should have no problem. And I will show the lead loading on this, but I do have videos on basic lead loading, and it's basic lead loading in 1, 2 and 3, part 1, 2 and 3, if you want to go and have a look at it. It isn't on a vehicle, it's on a piece of scrap plate, but it gives you the idea. And again, it's like anything, bit of practice, and use gravity. If you're trying to lead load upside down, you need a lot of skill, or vertically. So try and, if you possibly can, try and move the vehicle so you can use gravity. Okay, I'll bring you back when we've got more done. So this is the old floor out of that 1970 Mark III Mini. And you know, some people would look at that and say, well, you know, it isn't that bad, it's only really the front. But it was particularly badly patched at the front, and the sides were rotten as well. Even though we've cut it out, there was massive amount of holes in the side, and the corrosion and patches on it was unreal. I'm sure in certain circumstances people would have just patched it up, but to be honest, it's patch after patch after patch, and you know what, at the end of the day you're better off just biting the bullet and fixing it once, and fix it correctly, rather than just chasing patches. I know people have to do it on a budget, but if you can, replace the panel. It's less, you know, if you're going to keep the car, and even if you're not going to keep the car, if you do the job right, you'll get a little bit of extra for it anyway. And there's an awful lot of corrosion in this floor, really piss poor. There was, I would say, in some places there were 3 or 4 patches on top, and people have some weird ideas about what, you know, how they weld it or don't weld it or rivet it or stick underseal on it and put a piece in it and fiberglass and God knows what, but it's structurally not sound. So that's why we replaced it, because at the end of the day it'll be as good as a new shell. In fact, probably better, because all the door shuts, all the shut lines will be far better than they certainly came off the factory. That's out of the factory, that's for sure. So that's the fit up on the quarter panel, and then you can see inside where that bit's been taken out. You can see that gap in there. So what we're going to do is use this piece here, and use that as this is actually something I can't remember where we cut this out of. Was it a new one? I think it might have been the wing on the.
We cut the arch
on the beige Mini, I think, but yes, that will fit. Pop it in just now. See, that'll fit perfectly on there, between there and there. But you can see where the gap is there. So that'll fit perfectly. Fortunately, it's the right bent the right way. We just need to move it slightly, but that's going to be a lot better with that new one. So you can see that's the lip, the new lip in there. It was all cut before, and you can barely tell but it's a new one. Looks like it's original. That's all in. We've got to clean this piece up here and a little bit there. A little bit rough on that one, but the lip's nice all the way around. Really nice fit compared to how it was when you look at it. And we were lucky we actually had this piece, so he stitched it in on that wheel arch inside it, and that'll all get cleaned up, and possibly a little weld in there as well. But now the panel sits on it really nice. Yeah, it's a really nice fit, that, considering that was all chopped out. That's come out really well. I don't know if I can show you underneath. Yeah, you can see underneath, and it's really nice. I don't know if that's showing it up or not. So it's hard to see in the camera. Where are we? There we go. It's a good fit all the way around.